I used to draw precious moments really on a very individual basis for people. I had a lot of friends who had many hurts. Sometimes, of course, it was just a matter of an illness or something. And so just as to be more personal, I would paint a precious moment and I would send it to them personally as a card. Now, it didn't look exactly like the precious moments do today, but it certainly, people would recognize it as a precious moment. And as time went on, and Bill and I began the Jonathan and David Company, we had the opportunity to show our artwork in Anaheim, California for the first time. And Bill suggested that I do these little children that I had drawn personally for people. When people saw precious moments for the very first time, there was an immediate response, and that's how it all began.
Simple beginnings, simple truths, simple but precious moments. In the early 70s, Sam Butcher began illustrating personal experiences in his life by sketching them. These sketches were the humble beginnings of what has now become the Precious Moments collection. From the very beginning, Sam's deepest desire was to do more than sketch pictures.
I just wanted to touch a heart with something that's real, which I feel anything from the Word of God that's encouraging is real and special to a person. So to say, the Lord watches over us all, or love is kind, these are things that touch and warm the heart of people. And so Precious Moments to me is a ministry of reaching out, touching lives, and blessing people who really at a certain time in their life needs a special touch. It all has to come from the inside. And I really don't hardly ever do preliminary sketches. I just simply draw directly on the paper. So what's there came originally, and I feel like that's so that the originality and the feeling is always there. So I draw on the paper, and then when I'm finished, I'll do it with a ballpoint pen, and then I paint the whole page white. And then as the paint begins to dry, I have to finish most of that painting within a matter of maybe 20 minutes. And so that's how it's done. Well, Love One Another's is really the very first figurine that I ever saw in the Precious Moments line. And the way that this design came across, it's very interesting because my daughter Debbie at that time was probably no more than maybe 6 years old, if that. And Bill was wrestling with one of my children. And Debbie has always just adored her Uncle Bill. She calls him Uncle Bill. And the way she was looking at him on the couch, that warm, sweet spirit in her eyes immediately painted a picture to me. I could just almost visibly see this little girl and this little boy sitting on a stump together. And she was just showing, in her expression, how special he was to her. And so Bill then, to me, became that little boy who was sitting beside that little girl who was just adoring him. And that's how Love One Another began. But this subject here is something that actually happened last spring. When I came home from the Orient, I was confronted with a wife who was all upset because our cat ate the canary. And anyway, while she was devastated, I saw a great opportunity to do a precious moment. And so as a result of that, I did this little painting here, which of course is a figurine now, called The Lord Giveth and the Lord Taketh Away. And obviously you can see who lost and who won in this scene.
Any aspect of Sam's life can provide the seed of inspiration that only Sam can nurture into a Precious Moments subject. Take, for instance, a story told to Sam by his mother.
It was in the wintertime, and she had never seen snow before in her life. And I believe at that time she was only about 5 years old. And there she was packaging snowballs, and she was going to send them to her relatives in Florida. And, as my mother told me that story, I remember through the years that has always made such an impression on me. So one time when I was thinking of a special Christmas card, this idea, I'm sending you a white Christmas, came to my mind. So this is very special to me because it's the only piece that is a story of my mother's life. I love that piece. That's so special to me.
Sam's work is also special to the rest of us. Through his universal themes, his eye for detail, and his inspirational messages, Sam Butcher's precious moments become our very own. But as Sam puts it, he is only sharing what has already been shared with him.
I always am reminded by the fact that it's really the Lord who paints the picture. The picture is painted inside, in my mind, and then I just simply copy what he gave me in the first place, and that's the result of this particular one here. The four seasons are different than the other figurines in that they're more of an elongated design, and the reason for this is because they were designed after a particular Bible verse that expresses each one of the figurines, and it's more of an inspirational message than what you see in many of the other figurines. The one figurine I feel that probably means the most to me in this group is Autumn's Praise, which was designed after Katie. And actually, this verse, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help, is from a psalm of David, and that happens to be one of Kate's favorite verses.
The Precious Moments collection has always been very important to Enesco Imports. It was Enesco's own president, Mr. Eugene Friedman, who had the original vision of putting precious moments into porcelain.
When I first met Mr. Friedman, he called our office and asked if Bill and I would come to Chicago. And he was very interested in precious moments. And up to that point, we really hadn't licensed precious moments to anyone. We were simply producing them in cards and posters, but we weren't thinking about ever licensing precious moments. But then when we met him, he presented Love One Another to us. And I was very inspired. I feel that if there's anybody who was designed to work with precious moments, who God had in a very special way designed a heart that could really respond to this line, it's Mr. Friedman. And I feel that upon the very first meeting, we just simply loved one another. And it's interesting because that was the first figurine that he presented, that there has always been that very special relationship. And I believe that that's what makes the Precious Moment line so successful, because Gene, or Mr. Friedman, is so, he's so serious about making this line as special as what we want it to be, because he sees far beyond the financial aspect. He can really relate with us in our desire to minister to the heart, and I believe that that's what's made this line so very special. I'm still an artist, and though I became an instant businessman, I really could never claim that title because I'm not much of one, but I still have a desire to be an artist so that I can continue to produce the things that I enjoy the most. I decided that I would have to move to a place where I could really be alone, where there would be a lot of inspiration around me and quietness. We have land around us where we can overlook a river and trees all around us, and you can walk around barefooted without your shirt and nobody cares, and it's really a very special place to be.
While Sam has moved to more tranquil surroundings, excitement and enthusiasm for the collection is growing at an unprecedented pace. More and more people each year discover Sam Butcher's work, as well as the special caring and sharing relationship they have with their fellow club members.
They just want to share of what Precious Moments has done to them, and I think it's one of the most remarkable things, because I don't really know of a collectors club that has this type of individuality to it, love and charisma that the Precious Moment Collectors Club has. This year is the 5th anniversary of the Enesco's Precious Moments Collectors Club. And when I talked to Mr. Friedman about this, he asked if I could design something that would be very special. And I thought of many things, but I really wasn't all that happy until I was trying to paint a picture, and my little grandson came in with my little granddaughter, and they decided they were going to help me paint. So they spilled the paint on the new rug, which was the first thing. And it was one thing after another that day until finally I was able to get somebody to get them out of the room. And I thought, that's just like Precious Moments. We have the wonderful years of blessing together, but with all of that, the whole story is that there's little things that happen along the way that you can remember that were tragic. And I think of that in light of the Precious Moments anniversary, because we've had these years together that God has blessed, which of course is the title of this, God blessed our years together. And I just thought that's sort of how Precious Moments is. So you have a mom and dad here doing their best to try to get the family together to, give it its best shot in the usual everyday things that happen, which is so typical of Precious Moments. It's just the truth. It's the way things really happen. And as sharp, I know that when Kate and I had our children, as sharp as we tried to look, in church or whatever, there was always one to remind us what life is really about. And I feel like this is very apropos for this particular anniversary piece. I really have found it very difficult to speak before large groups, although I feel very comfortable with people individually. I have always loved people on a one-to-one basis. I'm a little bit afraid of crowds, so obviously I don't speak a lot, but when I do, it's so special to me. After the message is over and all of that is behind me, that I have the tremendous privilege of meeting personally the collectors, because these people are coming there not only to hear the speaker, but to meet one another. It's a place where they can belong. It's something that they can become a part of. And the joy, of course, to me, is that I'm a part of this. And it's as much a privilege to me to be a part of this as I'm sure it is to the collectors. So just to come together and to meet them on a one-to-one basis is a very special thing. And I really enjoy that part. I think if I just had to speak and then leave, I would say no, because I'm already somewhat frightened of that. But then to actually realize, these people are here, Sam, in a way because they love you personally, because you've been able to love them through a precious moment. And so they have a very warm and a very special feeling, which is very special to me in meeting them.
Sam recently had an excellent opportunity to hear from the collectors through the Collectors Club contest entitled Design a Precious Moment Subject.
But while I certainly couldn't choose 100 first places or second or third, there were entries that were very special to me. And among those was one from a lady who sent a photograph of her little boy. And under that picture, she had just titled it, "I'm a Possibility." And from that, I got this idea. I suppose that I'm just simple enough in my life to believe what the Word of God says, that if you seek, ye shall find. And this, of course, is from that verse in the Bible, seek and you shall find. And I thought it was very appropriate for the Precious Moments Collectors, the Collectors Club piece. I would just like to personally thank everyone who has been involved in the success of this line. And as I think of it, I'm reminded of a verse in 1 Corinthians in the Bible and in the New Testament, where Paul the Apostle was saying that all of us belong to one body or one family, and that the eye can't really say, I have no need of the hand, or the hand can't say, I have no need of the ear, because the body as one needs every part in order to make it complete. And that's sort of how I view the Precious Moments family. I see Gene or Mr. Friedman's involvement in this and how he really brought the porcelain together, the porcelain into being. How Bill, my partner, was so inspirational to me and how he encouraged me to continue with the art and directed me sometimes when I became a little heavy with color, and he would remind me to keep the color down, and how Mr. Fujioka-san so tenderly brought out the expression and made it the success in the porcelain line. But even with all of these, and those, the staff at Enesco, and those that work in Miawi, and there's also the collector, the individual collector that I feel is the one who has really made the Precious Moment line successful, because the artwork may be wonderful and the craftsmanship may be wonderful, but if a person isn't going to collect the line or they don't appreciate the art, then it can't be a success. And so that's why I really feel that the Precious Moment collector is such an important part of the success of the Precious Moment line. And because I have this opportunity, I would just like to say thank you in a very special way for each one that's played such an important role in making the line a success.